Hi, this is Jack Schaub, and this is Chiller Service Advice, a videocast designed for the curious observer to the seasoned HVAC professional. This is episode 4. What is a refrigeration cycle and how does it work? Now, the concept of a refrigeration system goes back as far as the early 1800s, and it took about 30 years before a working refrigeration system or vapor compression system was actually built. But since that time, the same 4 major components are in every refrigeration system, whether it be an ice machine or an air conditioner or a heat pump or a freezer or even a chiller. So we're going to go through each one of these components, how they work, and how the refrigerant changes from location to location. So to make it easy, we're going to start at the compressor, and while it's running, the refrigerant leaves the compressor as a high temperature, high pressure, superheated gas, not a liquid, and it leaves the compressor, goes to the condenser. And the condenser is kind of like a radiator coil in a matter of speaking, and it has air or water that goes across that to cool the refrigerant. That's actually where the heat is removed. So as the refrigerant travels through the condenser, it does just what the condenser says it does. It condenses the refrigerant. So it goes from a high temperature, high pressure, superheated gas to a warm liquid by the time it leaves the condenser. And it still isn't the same pressure, and then it travels in a copper line called the liquid line, because the refrigerant is a liquid at that point, and goes to the metering valve. And the metering valve is where the largest change in temperature and pressure, so that it comes in as a liquid, high pressure, warm, and goes out as a very cold, low pressure liquid or saturated vapor. And after it makes that change, that's where the coldest amount of, or that's where the refrigerant itself is the coldest. And then it goes into the evaporator, which does the exact opposite of what the condenser does. It takes cold liquid and changes it from a liquid back to a gas again. And that's where air, especially in an air conditioner, that's where the air is going across to warm up that refrigerant. And that's where you get your cold air in your air conditioning in your car or your house. And when it comes back out of the evaporator, it's cool, it's not as cold, and it's only a gas. And that gas goes back into the compressor again to be repumped and recirculated. And that cycle of those 4 different stages is happening all the time, going on constantly. So just as a recap, it ends up leaving the compressor a high pressure, high temperature, superheated gas into the condenser, where it changes its state from a gas to a liquid. It's cooled down a little bit, so it's just warm. When it enters into the metering valve, or TXV, thermal expansion valve, similar names, it changes its pressure from high pressure to low pressure, and it goes from a warm liquid to a cold liquid or saturated vapor. When it leaves that, it goes into the evaporator, where that liquid changes back to a gas again and is cool but not cold when it re-enters into the compressor. So, like I said, that is constantly going on all of the time. Now, there's more detail on our website, the chillers.com website. In the resources section, there's a drop down on how, refrigeration system works in a lot more detail with some pictures. But this is the basic of the 4 components that, like I said, is in every refrigeration system that's out there. I hope you have enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.